Well, hey, all you beautiful people. It is once again time for the Mind of James podcast. We are recording August 30th. It is 7:11 a.m. I work night shift, so it is my Friday afternoon. How are you beautiful people doing? I'm doing good. I am drinking on a Yuengling traditional lager. And I am chiefing on a Geek Bar, a Capricorn Dragon Melon. It's not bad, but I gotta say these Yuengling lagers go down smooth after a hard day's work. But let's get into it, shall we? We are looking and we are diving into the law of attraction today. Now, a bit of experience with the law of attraction for me. It's all about the mind. It's all about what your mind energy, what your mind frequency is saying to the universe. And it's a wonderful thing to use. And when you understand it, and when you understand the concept of it, nothing can stop you. But I did a little research on it as well, just to see where it comes from. And we're going to start out with this. The law of attraction is the new thought spiritual belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative energies or experiences into your personal life. Meaning that if you have a positive thought, a positive reaction is going to happen. You have a negative thought or reaction is going to happen. Simple as that. The belief is based on the idea that people and their thoughts are made from pure energy, and that, like energy, can attract like energy, thereby allowing people to improve their health, wealth, and personal relationships. There is no scientific evidence supporting the law of attraction, and it is widely considered to be pseudoscience or religion couched in scientific language. This belief has alternative names that have varied in popularity over time, including the word manifestation. So, what that means is that they don't really have any scientific evidence that if you think a positive thought or want something in your life, it's not going to happen. Which there's plenty of, and I've got a story about it. I've got a couple stories about it. But what that means is that your mind is think of a cell phone tower, okay? Think of a cell phone tower. It's putting out frequencies. Your mind has to be that cell phone tower. So you put those frequencies at a high vibration or a high frequency, positive things happen. You have a low vibration or a negative frequency, negative things are going to happen. I mean, I'm sure we can all understand what positive and negative is. If you don't, here's what it is. A positive thought would be, I would like a new car. A negative thought would be, my current car is going to break down. And that's the difference. So if you want a new car, you're going to start getting these thoughts and ideas on how to get a new car. Like, in all honesty, you're not going to sit there and go, I want a new car, and it's just going to appear. That was me snapping here. I just took a shower, so hands are a little easy on the snapping. But you have I want a new car thought. It's not going to appear out of midair. You got to go get it too. You got to, make some, maybe you got a budget going on. Maybe you just need to go out and do it. But you have a negative thought, like my car's going to break down. it's gonna break down. Simple as that. Simple as that. I found this law of attraction idea or concept. I was going through a rough time in 2020. Like most of us, it was the pandemic. But I was going through a lot of personal stuff. And I found the law of attraction. So I started really, really getting into it. Like, what does this mean? What is the law of attraction? Sip of beer. And it really helps me. It helped me a lot. I was like, I got money on the mind. And money came into me. I found it. Steve Harvey was on Instagram at one point, and he was talking about the law of attraction. So I was like, Steve Harvey has a pretty good career going, has a lot of good things going. So let's see what he's got. It did a lot for me. I got out of a lot of negative things because of it. And I can only attest or tell you that I got out of those negative things because of the law of attraction. The method I used was just thinking it over and over and over again. Now, there are many methods to use. Writing it down, putting up a vision board. There's this real cool thing I'm trying out right now, which is called the 369 manifestation, which is you say it out loud or write it down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times before you go to bed. But you first and foremost, you gotta believe this is gonna happen. It's not gonna be I think at one time and that's it. No, you gotta keep believing all this stuff is gonna happen. And you just got, that's number one basis thing for anything of the law of attraction: belief. If you do not have the belief, it will not work. Advocates generally combine cognitive reframing techniques with affirmations and creative visualizations to replace limiting or self-destructive thoughts with more empowered, adaptive thoughts. So take your negative mindset and turn it into a positive mindset. Now, I'm not going to say that this can happen overnight. My damn security camera's going off, but I'm not going to say this is going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. You have to rewire your brain to think positive. Now, everything around you may be crumbling and coming to an ass-grinding halt, but it's gotta be positive thoughts. Like, oh, my entire life is on fire. Well, there's a water gun coming soon. Okay. Okay. At some point, this giant water gun is going to put all these fires out. All right. We just got to get to that at some point. A key component of the philosophy is the idea that in order to effectively change one's negative thinking patterns, one must also feel that the desired changes have already occurred. Meaning that if you feel something's happening, your future self has already achieved it. It's just you're waiting for that future self to get to it. For me, I want to work for one of the major oil and gas companies. And I get really down about it when I don't. Because my future self already has it, but my present self doesn't. So I have to be in that thought process. Well, my future self already has it. Why am I even worried about it? You know what I mean? That's what that means, which means your future self already has it. So you want to be a millionaire? Your future self has it. You just have to keep that in your thought process and keep that in your mind. This combination of positive thoughts and positive emotions is believed to allow one to attract positive experiences and opportunities by achieving a resonance with the proposed energetic law. That means that if you believe it, it will come true. If you believe it, it will come true. I'll say it again for the people in the back. If you believe it, it will come true. Now let's get real for a minute. We're all going to have these days where it's going to be like, this is never going to happen. I have no idea how it's going to happen. You're going to go through those days, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be on the real side of life. You're going to wake up some days and you're just going to be like, whatever. Like, why am I even going for this? Why am I even thinking about it? Why is it even going to happen? But if you persevere and get through those days, I believe that your next day and your following days are going to be even more powerful than that negative day that you had. Because you've doubled down, you've tripled down, you've quadrupled down, you know, on that thought and that belief that you're going to have something in the future. It may take a year or two. It may take 3 days. It may take 3 months, 6 months, 6 years. Who knows? But there's a great Bible verse that I keep remembering when I'm on one of those negative days. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And that is a fact. There was one time that I remember specifically where this happened. I had a 2012 Ram 1500 that I bought brand new, like 10 miles on it. Gorgeous truck, black. It was called the Black Pearl. And I had a red single cab Ram 1500 that I had, but I went to an auto expo and I saw these Rams sitting on the floor, and I took a picture of it and I put it on Facebook like, I'm going to own one of these. Watch me. And like a year later, I was driving a brand new truck. Brand new truck, baby. 10 miles on that thing. 10 miles on it. And it was gorgeous. And she was called the Black Pearl. And I have the first registration that I had with that pearl, with the Pearl. And I keep an eye on it. Last time I checked on her, she was in Illinois. If anybody listening to this podcast and has the Pearl, hit me up. But I had to do some things to get the Pearl. I had to keep believing. I had to keep working. And I had to save my money. You know, like I said before, it's not just going to happen because you believe that you think it. You have to believe it and work for it. You know what I mean? It took me about a good year and a half. That single cab Ram that I had, it was awesome in the beginning when I had it. It was cool, had a good exhaust on it. I remember buying it, started it right up, and it had that rumbling exhaust. I was like, oh. And everybody, my dad and my brother went with me, and they both looked at me and they both looked at each other, and they were like, he's getting this. It's he's getting it. We saw his face. It's done. But it took me about a good year and a half, you know. And through those days, baby, I said some days I was like, I don't even know, man. Like, what's going to happen? Can I do this? Like, is it good? You know, and it did. It did. I had a lot of good times in that truck. A lot of good times in that truck. As Captain Jack Sparrow said, there was only one captain of the Pearl, and that captain is me. Let me take a sip of Yuengling here. Hopefully Yuengling sponsors this podcast. I would love for them to sponsor it. I'll do a deep dive on them on an episode here. The New Thought movement grew out of the teachings of Phineas Quimby in the early 19th century. Early in his life, Quimby was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Early 19th century medicine had no reliable cure for tuberculosis, but Quimby took to his horse riding and noted that intense excitement and temporary relief helped him with his affliction. This method for relieving his pain and seemingly subsequent recovery prompted Quimby to pursue a study of mind over body, meaning that the mind has such powerful thoughts that it helped this dude with his tuberculosis. His mind basically said, we're not going to do this tuberculosis body. We're going to beat this. And look what happened. You know what I mean? Like, that's how powerful the law of attraction is. That's how powerful your mind really is. Although he never used the words law of attraction, he explained this in a statement that captured the concept in the field of health. Here is the statement. The trouble is in the mind, for the body is only the house for the mind to dwell in, and we put a value on it according to its worth. Therefore, if your mind has been deceived by some individual enemy into a belief, you have put it into the form of a disease, with or without your knowledge. But my theory or truth, I come into contact with your enemy and restore you to your health and happiness. This I do partly mentally and partly by taking till I correct the wrong impressions and establish the truth. And the truth is the cure. So this guy was told he had tuberculosis. Literally said to himself, no, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. What is tuberculosis? This guy. The mind is like, we don't have tuberculosis, body. Not a chance, bro. Not a chance. Not a chance. This guy looked right at tuberculosis and gave it the middle finger. No, thank you. What does it mean to me? And what does it mean to you? Well, it means to me that if you get diagnosed with something, the mind can tell the body, it ain't happening. It is not happening. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger saying one time, he had a surgery to do, so I think it was a heart surgery or something like that, and he was like, I'm going to be on set in the next 7 weeks. And they told him no, he's not. Damned if he was. 7 weeks later, he was on set making a movie. I remember a couple times. 2021. Man, I had a rough day. I had a rough day at work. And I went to bed thinking, how am I going to get up tomorrow? I have no idea. Sorry, folks, I'm yawning. Had a day at work. Now we're just kind of winding the day down, but I'm hanging out here making this podcast for you, ladies and gentlemen, because this stuff is important. The next day I woke up, my alarm went off. I was like, man, I could just call it a day. Just text them, tell them I'm not coming in. But the mind said, get up. You got to go to work. So as soon as I got on my feet, the energy hit me. I was like, good to go. And then it's telling me, the mind told the body, get it up. The body got up. And everything was good. In 2006, the concept of the law of attraction gained renewed exposure with the release of the short film The Secret. Really good movie. It's also a book. I will link this book from YouTube into the show notes. Really good. Which was then developed into a book of the same title in the same year. The movie and book gained widespread media coverage because this stuff works, ladies and gentlemen. This stuff works. It is not BS, as we like to call it. It is not BS. Hang on a sec, we're having technical difficulties. And we're back. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. By that, I mean I had to use the restroom. But yeah, this stuff ain't a secret. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some people don't know it. That's why I'm making this podcast. This was followed by a sequel, The Power, in 2010, that talks about the law of attraction being the law of love. A modernized version of the law of attraction is known as manifestation. Now, when we talk about manifestation, it's the same thing. It's like how the Atkins diet was called the keto diet. Now it's called the carnivore diet. It's the same thing. Write your manifestations down. I want a new truck. I want a new relationship. I want a new house. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want. Known as a manifestation, which refers to various self-help strategies that can purposely make an individual's wishes come true by mentally visualizing them. Mentally visualizing. So if you see it in your mind, it can be a reality. With belief and hard work, go for it. It will happen. Manifestation techniques involves positive thinking or direct requests from the universe, as well as action on the part of the individual. Meaning, you think it, you do the work, it will be a reality. Simple as that. Simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. No ifs, ands, or buts about her. Like, I want this podcast to grow. So I got to put the work in. Like, I'm really tired right now. Every time I record one of these things, but I push through it. You know, some days, some weeks, I don't want to record this thing, but I do it for you all. And I do it because I want to make sure that this podcast goes. This book, The Secret, I listened to it on YouTube, which I will link it. Man, it changed a whole lot of... I need to listen to it again. I just need to say that. I need to listen to it again because it made a heck of a big difference for me. How it affected my thinking was that, okay, my mind is on a negative frequency right now. I need to get it on a positive frequency. As soon as I got it on a positive frequency, I saw things changing. What changed was that I had money on the mind, and just money came to me. Money came to me. It was like a waterfall. Like TLC says, don't go chasing waterfalls. I did, and I got the waterfall. I got it. So, I was doing some research on this, and they had a specific thing called lucky girl syndrome. Which is, I didn't know about it. So for the ladies, if you're listening, this is for you. Lucky girl syndrome is an incarnation of the law of attraction appearing in the early 2020s, which is known as the lucky girl syndrome. According to Women's Health, this is the idea that you can attract things that you want, like luck, money, love, etc., by repeating mantras and truly believing things will work out for you. It's what I just said. If you believe things will happen, it will happen. And you got to put the work in. In early 2023, AARP explained that the newest self-help craze, Lucky Girl Syndrome, is a Gen Z's spin on the book, The Power of Positive Thinking, The Secret, and Manifest Your Destiny. The 9 spiritual principles for getting everything you want. This year's version, however, puts an emphasis on luck and consistently reminding yourself that the universe is conspiring to make good things happen for you because you are a lucky person. Well, it's never luck, it's always God. Let's start there. It's never luck, it's always God. The BBC reported that there isn't specific evidence for it, and some have labeled it as smuggest. It's the smuggest TikTok trend yet. What does the BBC know? Like, aren't they having a lot of problems with Prince Harry right now? So, I mean, what do they know? I mean, they just got voted one of the worst countries to live in. So, it's all on you guys. I wouldn't believe anything from the BBC anyway. Let's see. Comments from the other people. So these are different people that I researched, and they have specific comments because I don't want you guys to believe what I just say. I want you to go out and research it for yourself, but I have a few things that I pulled off the interwebs for you guys to listen to. So Charles Haanel wrote in the Master Key System in 1912. 1912. Let me say it again. 1912. This goes back to 1912. Or as the Gen Zers say, the early 1900s. The law of attraction will certainly bring to you the conditions, environment, and experiences in life corresponding with your habitual, characteristic, and predominant mental attitude. There you go. This guy said it all the way back in 1912, that if you believe it, it will happen. Ralph Trin wrote, "In the tune with the infinite, and 1897, even better, 1897, which is earlier than 1912, obviously. The law of attraction works universally on every plane of action, and we attract whatever we desire or expect. If we desire one thing and expect another, we become like houses divided against themselves, which are quickly brought to desolation. Expect only what you desire, then you will attract only what you wish for. Easy as that. Easy as that. So here are my final thoughts on this. The law of attraction is a powerful tool for turning your thoughts into reality. I use it frequently, man. I use it frequently. Consistently focusing on how I want my life to unfold. When there's something I truly desire, I persist until I achieve it. I am the kind of guy that will tell you that if I want something, I'm going to get it. And no one's going to tell me no. No one's going to tell me no. It is important to remember that setbacks are normal. Like I said, you're going to have them negative days. You're going to have them. And it's okay to take breaks or get a little sidetracked. And we're all going to get a little sidetracked, but we got to ask God to get us back on track. Amen to that. After all, we are all just navigating life as humans. I believe in one true God who watches over us through many, though many refer to him as the universe or by other names. It's God. For me, it's all God. 100% God, always will be God. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. With belief and determination, your dreams can become reality. They really can. You think it, you see it, it will become a reality if you work for it. It's as simple as that, guys. It's as simple as that. Make sure that you believe in it, what you want. Make sure that you see what you want in your mind, and you will see it come to life. Praise God, baby. Praise God. Now, I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of The Mind of James. This was a fun one for me. Next week's episode is going to be really fun. And I just want to thank you all for listening in. And I hope you all have a good Labor Day weekend. And the week following, I hope, is good for you. And do some research on the law of attraction yourselves. Have a great day. God bless.